Hello everyone. So this is a presentation from Cranbrook Artificial Intelligence Society about what this club is about. And hopefully you'll find this interesting and this introduction video to be helpful. So let's talk about the background of this foundation of this club. Cranbrook Artificial Intelligence Society, also known as CAIS, is built upon an online-based artificial intelligence collaboration space, namely Nova Artificial Intelligence Society, NICE. For recent years, artificial intelligence has been accumulating its influence. Many colleges have established their own AI research institutions. For example, SAIL at Stanford University and Bayer at UC Berkeley. So that, artificial intelligence really is a really powerful tool for all kinds of industries. Like whatever people are working on, like engineering, architecture, there are a lot of things that people can simulate their situations on the computer, and use those kind of data to find out useful information for them to complete their projects. So artificial intelligence has a lot of different kind of algorithms in different kind of categories, and mostly there are some really familiar terms such as supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and categories like classification, regression models. So all of these stuffs are going to be covered in our study. And NICE was born under such inspirations that people can use artificial intelligence in basically every kind of field, every different expertise. So with the purpose of providing similar research opportunities and kind of tutorials for basic beginning level learners to learn more about this field, um, we are creating this online platform while also keeping a offline platform as school level clubs to connect people together with connect students with different diverse backgrounds and accomplish more things into the field. NICE is a worldwide organization, so founded in early 2018 by Alex, me, and five other peers from around the world. We all have a shared interest in research and artificial intelligence. So what we're trying to think about is if we can do more for our peers instead of just doing our own researches. And so basically, we're creating an online platform and an offline school level clubs at the same time. And up to now, more than five schools have established some sort of clubs based on the structure of NICE to share AI to high school students. NICE also seeks collaboration with more research-based high school clubs, such as research clubs at Cranbrook Kingswood Upper School, and Hack Club at the school level too. So that way, we will introduce some related information to according clubs as well. Like, for example, we will do codings in our entire system, and those codings are in service of the researches that students are being conducting, and also we are going to include some statistical models that are related to math. So as a society, NICE is really inclusive of any interested members at any level, and will be providing any helpful resources. And this includes some lectures and helpful resources on building and training models, and on learning anything related to AI. So let's introduce some of our backgrounds as organization founders and leaders. So let's start with Alex Wu, which is I think I put him as the first person, mainly because of his major contribution to the foundation of the club. And personally speaking, he inspired me in the entire process of getting learning and getting to AI. So let's look at the paper that we worked on together last year. This paper was on using a bunch of artificial intelligence and statistical models on treating and predicting the outcomes of breast cancers. So here, as we can see, this is a new treatment optimizing system and top gene identification via machine learning. And basically, we start with some pre-processing methods such as principal component analysis. And after we clean the data and pre-processed it, we used a bunch of machine learning algorithms to in support of finding three major categories of information about breast cancer, namely survivability, mortality, and recurrence time. Of all this information, we need a bunch of different kind of machine learning algorithms to make sure that we are finding we're using the best algorithms for finding that specific information. So in this case, we wrote a whole paper on this situation and include all of the algorithms that we used. These are all traditional machine learning algorithms, and after using and comparing all of them, we find the best case scenario for all the three categories of things that we're trying to predict. And you can see these include classification models, regression models, which we're gonna introduce more in the future. And we also have integrated paper written on this, like right here. And we include discussion sections and result sections of the study we conducted. The interesting fact about this paper is that we found we are more integrated than any of the previous, studies on this related topics. We most of the people just predict if the person has the cancer, and we do more. We predict the survivability and the mortality of the thing, and also another interesting fact about our study is that we provide further information for labs to look into significant genes of causing breast cancers, such as, we found a bunch of genes here, like this one, this one. We found that these are has significant influences causing breast cancer, but like some of them are not laboratorily identified as significant genes. So actually, labs can study more into the genes that we provide may be significant. So that way, we also provide further information for future researchers too. Um, Also, there's a paper that I worked on myself, and this paper is on engineering optimization. And I basically just created a bunch of data points with MATLAB simulations to create on the so-called fluid dynamics situations. And then I used linear regression, cross validation, and deep learning framework to predict the relationship between different dimensions on the 2D object and project it to the 3D object, and all according, related factors and situations. And then I use the active learning and to create an automated system to make sure that the study actually finds the best case of the engineering shape. So these topics are just like an introduction. I'm talking about this basically for two reasons. Firstly, I kind of want to introduce like what this club can do. We can conduct a research like this and to have them either to be published or put them into competitions. For example, like the work that I had worked with Alex Wu, we worked on it for almost 2 months, and we published it in a peer-reviewed journal. This is a pretty hard thing for a high school student to accomplish because of our limited resources and knowledge. But like with machine learning, it's kind of doable because you don't have to find a really sophisticated lab to do all the researches. You just can do what you want and conduct the entire research to find the answer for your hypothesis or study through machine learning and online simulations. It is achievable, and it also proves that high school students are capable of publishing their works to qualified peer-reviewed journals. And for these two works, are also some examples of like how students can work on their projects to head them into research competitions. In fact, both of them won huge awards from competitions. Almost like if you want to know the number, it's like $20,000 for that award. And also like for this person, she also had her project into Intel Science Engineering Fair, which is probably one of the hugest science fairs in the world, and she got the second place in her category, which is fantastic. So by doing researches with machine learning and by doing research based on these machine learning algorithms, you can actually have a really good shot in accomplishing more awards and more accomplishments in competitions. And like this is also my new work throughout the summer, and I just had it into the research competition that is going on now. So you see, doing research with artificial intelligence has a lot of potential for students to prove themselves, either their abilities to get published or get awards from science fairs. So let's talk about what's the major missions of NICE. So NICE has 4 categories of stuff it's doing. So we have guest speaker sessions where we invite PhD students and current company software engineers that are working on, AI related stuff and how they see the field, how they see their occupation, and how they see the future of this field. Secondly, we do study groups. So we learn Python, we learn TensorFlow, and we share information about calculus, linear algebra that are useful for developing models together. So that way people can have a better understanding, a better community, stronger community together to understand and to learn more about AI from the beginning level. And third, we have contest advisory that for sophisticated AI learners, if they want to head their projects into contest, we provide this platform to help them find the correct direction for them to head their projects in, because we have few leaders that are already winning in the science fairs, so they had experience. So we really hope to help future talented, gifted AI programmers to develop a more appealing project for those contests. And fourthly, which is the last section, we also do research collaborations, and for people who have really good ideas on developing the project, they can find their peers in this society, or even talk to the society founders to see if we can find some research collaborations together. For example, in the past, we collaborated with Kent AI Lab, and we had into a statistic data science competition, which is called Kaggle together, and we got a really good standing on that contest, which includes a lot of undergraduate and graduate students and even company workers. So we have all these opportunities as the online global organization. And for CAIS, on the other hand, which is a specific program for Cranbrook Kingswood Upper School students, there are some basic information about this. So we invited our AP statistics teacher, who's Miss Hannah Robinson, into our process to advise our club. The reason why we invite her into this process is because she's one of those best and very talented statistics teacher, and statistics and a lot of statistical models are just helpful for developing AI and learning more about AI. For example, the widely used loss function is decided by a statistical model called the least square sum. And there are a lot of similar stuff that we can do with statistics. And here are the two co-founders who are also the NICE leaders. And we work together to lead the club for the first year. And throughout the year, we're going to add more members into the class officer clubs groups, because we didn't know much about the people interested in this field yet, but if they show their abilities throughout the year, we are happy to share more leadership positions with them. And also, we're going to meet every Thursday afternoon during the come work period in Gordon Science. Specific time and locations will be posted later through email. So let's talk about the major focus of CAIS. Aside from the online platform that we had with a lot of information available to most of the schools and most of the students, what we are doing with the CAIS at school level. So basically, we do two things. Firstly, we do lectures on implementations of a varied range of algorithms. This is basically for the first 3 quarters of the year, and for last quarter, with accomplished students and members of the club, we're gonna provide some research opportunities, and let's explore more into these two different categories. The first thing is about the tutorials and the teachings, the lectures, whatever, about this idea of machine learning. So firstly, we're going to teach some basics about setting up the environment for TensorFlow, which is one of the most used machine learning framework, and we will explain more in the future why we chose to use this instead of PyTorch and other kinds of frameworks. And also, we're choosing to use Python in this process, and we'll teach more about necessary Python basic skills for people to use when they're developing future algorithms and train models. And we're talking about math, some basic matrix operations, some use for linear algebra, and the statistics. These are also very helpful for understanding machine learning, but they are not necessary skills. So if you're not one of those top math guys, don't worry about it. We're gonna handle it with some you know, other methods or whatever. We have tricks that we can help out, but like knowing these math definitely helps. And we are gonna teach the basic theories behind those traditional machine learning algorithms. I mean, one of the reasons why we're doing this is not because there's such an important task for you to understand them at all. You can still use them without understanding them, but like if you wanna make yourself look smarter and more intelligent, definitely do this, and it helps you to develop such skill um, to in the future when you conduct more complex research, you can always use these theories to help your thinking. It's really useful in the future. And for the fifth point, we're teaching deep learning architectures and theories too. So we are going to teach you how to train deep learning networks and all kinds of different deep learning networks. For example, the most simple one, fully connected layers, and more complex and more recent ones like RNN, CNN, and faster RNN. We're going to teach all of them to you, so that way you guys have the necessary gears for future development. Sixth, we're going to introduce some new artificial intelligence algorithms that can be a huge boost in different cases. Like, it's not just you're applying the same kind of artificial intelligence algorithms to all of your projects, all different projects. You have to think differently and to use the most optimized cases with your algorithms. So with that being said, you have to understand some of the ways to combine different kind of traditional methods, or choose between different methods and choose between different parameters. We're going to teach new algorithms, and or some algorithms can be old, but like mostly we're going to teach some cutting edge algorithms to help out to make your model trained more sophisticatedly and to have a better result. Artificial intelligence is really new, so like there are a lot of like fantastic algorithms still coming out. Just for example, TensorFlow 2.0 is just published this July this year. So there are a lot of new algorithms still being published, like GAN, which is a really useful generative model that I can, for example, there was like a time when people were using this to create a project of analyzing the styles of different painters and to create landscape into their styles of paintings. So these kind of generative stuffs are also done by a very recent algorithms called GAN, which is just published last year. And finally, we're going to teach you how to conduct research, like the basic structures of writing a paper and how you can find data that you want from online. And all this information we're going to cover in the future study of the tutorials. Secondly, what can you get out of this club? Basically, you get knowledge. AI is just like fantastic itself. Everyone hears AI and say, "Oh, that's so cool." And if you want to be the cool guy instead of being said, he's a nerd, join us. AI is something that you can make yourself look smart without being look nerdy. And secondly, if you work through enough of the materials we provide and you learn enough, you can conduct your personal research. You can publish your work or like join contests and win awards, just like us, just like what we did. And this is going to be really beneficial for your either college application or your future occupation. It's going to be just helpful, a huge boost. And third, potential accomplishments made available by doing AI. So with us, you can put your efforts into making something really meaningful for colleges to see, for science fairs to offer you the best odds of getting some awards. And you can also join some data science contests like what I talked about, Kaggle, too. That way you can get all around, develop some personal accomplishments and build on your resume. And for the fifth, it's just specifically for the club. So as long as you make enough attendance and or pass out quizzes, you'll be able to get a T-shirt with your name on it at the end of the year, and be able to run for club offices next year. So let's talk about some expectations of the club. We really are not rigid or strict about our rules. We are really flexible. So the most easy thing you can do is to attend most of our meetings, and as long as you attend enough meetings, we're gonna offer you the chances of running for the club officer for next year and give you a T-shirt for whatever reason. It's just cool. And we understand that some people just don't have the time. They have to go to the sport meetings. They have to do all kinds of other clubs. It's not a big deal. You can join us, and we will post all of our tutorials online in the YouTube channel, so that way you guys can all check out. In order to prove that you actually understand and watch carefully of our tutorials, we will give you some quizzes after a period of time with on certain materials of the video, and as long as you pass the quizzes, we'll still recognize you as a honorable member of the society. And finally, if you don't do either of the things that we mentioned before, just write a research paper based on AI to prove that you actually know stuff. And if the quality of your research paper is proven to be a proof of your personal development and your understanding of the project, we will be happily share with you the club's recognition, and you will also have the ability and eligibility of running for club officers, or even the global online organizations, or getting the very cool t-shirt for recognition. So that's basically what I want to talk about today about the clubs, and these are the contact information of the two club co-presidents and initiators. Feel free to contact us about further information or further questions, and we're happy to help out. And if you want to sign up right now, you can always join us, and we will post more about the information session for the next few weeks. And hope you doing good and excited about what we are doing and what we are offering with this club. Again, thank you very much, and welcome to join us right now. And honorably presented by NICE at Cranbrook Schools, which is CAIS. Thank you very much.